Hello! Collector's editions of video games, a paradox of our times, because of course people say, my goodness, these video games are getting too expensive now, they're £50 each, but I'm going to pay 110 for this one because it comes with a little plastic statue of a man. Anyway, we've got a long-awaited one now, and lots of people have said, will you take a look at this one? It is good, please look at it, thank you, bye. So alright, I bit the bullet and spent £80, last time I'll be doing that with the way ad revenue is going, on dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. That was music. Ooh, bloody hell. It's the size of a small planet. It's going to need an adjustment on the old camcorder. It is Sonic Man IA. IA stands for Intelligence Actuary. It's about a man, and he's Sonic, and he's really clever, and he does things to... No, it's Sonic the Hedgehog. You probably guessed that. Yes, Sonic the Hedgehog has returned. Bless his cotton socks that he probably wears around those weird red training shoes, because he's managed to get a decent game in at last. I've never understood, actually. I've probably mentioned this before, but why kids are so into Sonic the Hedgehog on the internet. Like, there probably hasn't really been a decent game released in their lifetime, except maybe Sonic Colors. But anyway, they got a load of fans together who were good at making levels and stuff, and they produced something called Sonic Mania, and it is very, very good by all accounts. I haven't played it yet, because this has only just arrived. I bought the Nintendo Switch version, because this felt like something I would want to play on a handheld system. Don't know why. I used to play the original on television, of course, but there we go. And do you want to see something disappointing? It's yellow and it says, download code. No game card is included. Yep, none of these £80 collector's editions actually contain a physical copy of the game. Not a single weeny one of them. Your PS4, your Xbox One and your Switch, it's all download codes. So you can't even sell it on. But you can sell on the plastic statue, so that's something. As you can probably see, this has been done up to look like one of the old Mega Drive boxes. I've got one around here somewhere. Yeah, here we are. Mega Games 3. Remember Alien Storm? Remember Super Thunderblades? Remember Super Monaco that nobody ever played? Yep, you've got sort of the... Actually, I'm going to remove this slip because it's easier to see on the actual box itself. The actual art and stuff all around it is identical. There we are, look, grid, more grid, although that one's much clearer on the camcorder. There we go. So, looks like an old Mega Drive box, and we're down with that. It's got the official Sega seal of quality. Never has a seal meant less, because a lot of the stuff Sega has shat out over the last few years has been frankly awful. God. Try to think of the absolute worst. Probably that crazy taxi drift game thing they did on mobile, which is just like an abomination that played itself. Anyway, look, it's Robot Fred, or whatever his bloody name is, and welcome to the next Welco Metot Henex to level. So that's Robotnik's real name. He's not really Dr. Eggman. His name is Welco Metot Henex to level. So, welcome to the next level. That's like a Sega saying or catchphrase type thing, but not from this country, is it? I think it's a Japanese one or something. Over here we had, to be this good takes ages. Because ages is Sega backwards, so they could have a little bit of a spinny pun thing going on. Dark days, the 90s. Right, on the back, 2D Sonic is back. A brilliant new adventure. Play as Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Monterey Jack from Tailspin. No, I made that bit up. As you race through all new zones and fully remastered. Yeah. We know the game. It looks like the Mega Drive 1 and plays very well, apparently. We're more interested in what's inside the box, because that's how this channel works. It's got a flap. Whoop. It's a very, very solid box, and this is full now. Battery information. There we are. You can now learn all about batteries. That's what we bought this for. Yes, it's got a little battery feature. I did open it up and put the batteries in earlier, which I'm very pleased I did, because without it, it wouldn't be making noises. It also came with a card with the game code on, but that has been separately used. And here it is. My goodness. The size of a small planet, and also 2 extra bits. Let's remove those while we're at it, actually. That and that. Oh, some silica gel in the bottom. I look forward to eating that later. Don't actually eat it. It's poisonous. There we are. Let's adjust a little bit. That'll do us. And there he is, Sonic the Hedgehog, standing on an old Mega Drive like a vandalising lunatic. His nose really frightens me in 3D. Like, what is going on with that? What is this? It looks like he got shot with a weird bullet that dug its way into his face and has festered there ever since. this is what we call the Sonic Spin. Not really. So yeah, the base looks exactly like a Mega Drive with Sonic Mania written on it. It's got that kind of slightly cheapy feeling plastic, as several people have said. I think it's the texture, but that doesn't matter too much because you're not going to spend your whole time sticking your hands on it. You know what I mean? It's something to look at from a distance, isn't it? And old Sonic is very nicely realised and well painted and all that kind of thing. In fact, it's mostly sort of separate areas for different colours, so you've got a very, very solid look to the old colour scheme. My only complaint is the spines on the back. I think it's supposed to be spines, aren't they? You can see quite a thing there in a casting. These are very minor complaints. It's a good thing. On here, you haven't really got a headphone socket. You've just got a sticker. Just got some holes suggesting the fact that there are controller ports. Reset button doesn't do anything. There's a volume control you can move, but it does absolutely nothing. But when you turn it on... Oh yeah. Let's have that again. That's what sold it, really, isn't it? I've noticed there's an LED for the power, but it's not actually connected to anything. Oh, well. Well, I can have that on my mantelpiece now and annoy everybody with it, well, constantly, by getting it to shout Sega at them. Which, I think, as life goals go, is a pretty solid one. Right, what else came with it? A metal card. It is a card of metal. It has a picture on the front and another on the back. And says at the bottom, fun is infinite. Great. This is like something from a DC Comics thing that like the Joker would throw at somebody, it'd stick in their head and kill them. Don't know what the point of that is. And also a Mega Drive cartridge. Well, not really, a fakey Mega Drive cartridge, which is actually exactly the right size and scale. That would fit in a proper Mega Drive, but I'm not going to stick it in mine in case it damages it. Plus, mine isn't in this house, so that's not going to happen. But the thing is, right, looks like a cartridge, but you pull out the old bit at the bottom, or at least you try to. There we go. There is a golden ring inside, actually made of metal. That was me banging it on my teeth and hurting myself slightly. Yep, it's a metal ring, like what Sonic collects in the games. I don't know where he keeps them all. He just touches them and they disappear. Perhaps he eats them. I thought they were fried onion rings for that reason, but no, they are metal. Now, interesting point. You know, I said this was exactly the same size as Mega Drive cartridge. This bloody thing isn't. It's slightly bigger. There's like a couple of centimetres on each side, which really threw me off because I didn't realise that when I first opened it. And I was looking at it and I'm like, what? Why doesn't this feel right? Do you know what I mean? I mean, it's obviously something made by... But it just didn't quite look right, and that's what it is. It's the size is slightly off, and obviously this is flat, so that Sonic can stand there, but, you know, we'll let him off that one. But it's very odd. You'd think they'd, I don't know, reuse the original moulds or something. They must have access to them, surely. Do they? I don't know. I don't really care. Let's move on to the next thing. So here's a different one. This isn't actually a collector's edition of a game, for there is no game included. This is a promotional item, which we do look at in these features. It's from Ubisoft, and from their South Park game, The Fractured But Whole. Or The Fractured Butthole. You see what they've done there? It is a rude pun. So yeah, this is an interesting item that Ubisoft were taking round with them when they went and did the rounds of the gaming conventions and were showing early builds of this game off. It is called the Nosulus Rift. Limited series, number 5 of 10. I imagine there's a reason these are limited. So the concept is, it is a pun on the Oculus Rift, the virtual reality headset, of course, except rather than going over your eyes, this goes over your nose. You can see what's... if you're wondering... I'll explain in a second. It's deeply unpleasant. So the idea behind this is, you strap it over your nose, and when somebody farts in a special alpha build of the game, you get to smell the fart, because it farts right in your face on the thing you've strapped to your face. That's nice, isn't it? Sorry, the problem with this is, the top of the box, inexplicably, really smells very strongly of Bovril. The sort of horrible beefy stuff you can put on bread and eat. I don't know why I said horrible, I quite like it. But anyway, yeah, it's got a kind of deeply unpleasant smell that is wafting at me at the moment. So I'm assuming the smell from this would be quite a beefy fart, to say the least, because there's a lot of the old beef smell coming off it at the moment. Oh, in fact, it made the whole room I kept this in stink of it. It really did, just having the box sealed in there. I had to keep it in a plastic bag after a while. It was all a bit unpleasant. Anyway, we bleed for our art or something. And inside is You know, I don't know, so I haven't actually opened it. Oh, there's a box. Oh, there's all sorts of gubbins in it. There's a USB cable, that makes sense. There's a really nice hat with, because I don't know if you ever played the first one of these, the Stick of Truth, where it was like a kind of take on massive multiplayer RPGs and that kind of Tolkien type stuff. This is a superhero based one, as my understanding, and there is one of the superheroes, one of the characters, the little kids dressed up and playing as it. It's a very high quality hat, I like it. Oh, there's little pin badges, look. And there's Cartman as a sort of Wolverine-y thing. Nicely done in enamel. There's some... Oh, God, the Bovril smell is now overpowering. God. That's the... Oh, God, I know the name. That's Butters as Captain Chaos or whatever it is. I can't remember the name. And somebody else doing something else. Oh, let's remove it then. Oh, God, it's much smaller than I thought. There's some more stuff in there. Hang on. There's little boxes full of stuff. Bloody hell. Little figurines of them, look. Do they tell you the characters' names? I'd be quite interested to know that. No, they do not. But a little set of three things going on. There's more stuff in. I thought it was just that I should have opened this beforehand. This is exciting, right? These are quite nice. If you want little statues of South Park characters dressed as their superhero alter egos, well, there they are. I presume you'll be able to buy these from somewhere. Yes, it's store.ubi.com. I don't know. Maybe they're not in stock yet. I don't know. There's another thing. There's the guy from the hat. I reckon he's a baddie. And underneath this sort of slightly grassy, shredded plasticky stuff, we've got... oh, God. Oh, dear, this is going to be difficult to get out, I think. No, I was wrong, actually. It's going out quite easily. Bloody hell, what a piece of vehicle of some description. God, it's massive. Right, let's move that one out of the way. My God, this is getting complicated. RC Coonmobile. Oh my God, so it even comes with batteries. Are they lithium? No, but they are rechargeable by the looks of it. That's odd. So it's like a radio-controlled Cartman on his Raccoonmobile, which is obviously the take on Wolverine they've got going on there. My God. Well, that's a thing that's going to be available at some point. Well, that's thrown me, because I honestly thought it was just this in there, hence why I was surprised it was so small. But so, here it is then. It looks like a thing they use in the Phantom Menace for breathing underwater. You know what I mean? So I'm going to put it on. And now there's a slight disappointment here in that I can't properly test it, for the simple reason that it only apparently works with an alpha build of the game, which is totally unavailable. So I'll just have to sort of sniff it from a non-working method. So you strap it over your head like this. Oh, God. Yeah, it just got a faint smell of Bovril in it, which is, I imagine, the only part of it that keeps on. The weird thing is it doesn't smell much itself. The box smells a lot more than the device does now. So you plug it in via USB into that, a little micro USB port there, if you can see that in there. And, yeah, when the Xbox or PS4 or whatever gave it the signal, it would... I don't know, is it like a sort of vape cartridge or something? I've got no idea. I'd be interested to know this way. If you are vaguely interested, I might pull it apart and see if we can see how it actually worked. If you're not, don't say anything and we won't bother. But it's a very interesting little bit of gaming history in itself, isn't it? Plus, really good sci-fi prop if you're making a short film. Just cover that bit up and it can be all manner of things. It can make you a space alien or a man who can breathe underwater or somebody who's gone to a gaming convention and has got a cartoon character farting in their face. Dearie me. Now over here I do have a little note that I wrote earlier which is a quote from Laura Dale, the journalist, who went along and tried this thing once. There was lots of gagging, because apparently it's deeply unpleasant, and she described it as smelling of cheese, vomit, and body odour. You'll notice I've made a little note there saying that reminds me of the smell of Games Workshop. But yeah, cheese, vomit, and body odour. Body odour, even. That's all a bit unpleasant, really, isn't it? I'm quite glad I can't experience that directly. We are just getting the after pangs of Bovril, which sounds like a lost novel from Evil and War or something. Right. Let's move on to the next thing, which is going to involve quite a lot of clearing up. This really is a day for massive boxes. It's Just Cause 3 Collector's Edition for the PC. I paid 20 quid for this off eBay, but I'll tell you the story of that in a moment. So, Just Cause 3. It's got that man with the grapnel gun and all that kind of stuff in, and it's quite good fun, but well, it's quite good fun when you're asking about it, the missions are a bit shite from what I remember. But a lot of people love it. It's Dan Cube, a friend of the channel's favourite game ever, I believe. So on the back it tells you what we're getting. Oh, I spoiled it, isn't it? There's a game, there's a map, there's a grapnel gun, grappling hook replica thingy. Quite like it when they do that, because it's a bit different, isn't it? You often get statues of the characters, but it's nice to have an actual prop. And a boon for cosplayers. And an art book. And there we go. So, this was supposed to be 20 quid, but it ended up costing me 36. And here is my tale of woe. So I bought it off one of those reseller shops, which is branded as Play UK. Back Play used to be like an online store, and I think it was bought out by Rakuten or went bust or something. I don't know, but it still sort of operates, or something with that name operates through eBay. And they are renowned for being, frankly, appalling and having really bad customer service and stuff. Ah, 20 quid, it'll be good for a video. It doesn't matter if it doesn't arrive for ages. So, and it didn't arrive for ages, so long, in fact, that I kind of forgot about it. Now, I then got a card through my door saying, oh, would you believe it? We were going to deliver you a thing, but there isn't enough, like, postage on it, and there's charges. And I was like, oh, because I was waiting at the time for a really big box of stuff coming from overseas, and I assumed it was that. So I went to the delivery office and I picked it up and had to pay the £16 extra, and it was a huge box, much bigger than this. And the person behind the counter says it was very rare you see it without any postage on at all. I was like, oh, because I do an impression of a cartoon dog when really surprised, and realised that this huge box had like a recorded delivery sticker on it, but no actual postage at all. They'd totally forgotten to put a sort of postage label on. It's like, well, what? You couldn't do that in a post office. So obviously it'd come from a business who hadn't franked it and put it in the outgoing mail and all that sort of stuff. And then I had that horrible sinking feeling of, this isn't the stuff from abroad, because it clearly says on its Royal Mail, you know, signed for or whatever. So it hasn't come from overseas, and it's got no postage on it at all. But the box is about the right size. I picked it up and the box was far too light and all the weight was up one end. Yes, because they just packaged it in a big box to protect it. So bonus points for that. And yes, I suddenly realised it's this, and I just paid £16 bloody extra because they hadn't put the sodding postage on it. So I emailed them and we had back and forth, and they just wouldn't give in at all. Like, well, you shouldn't have picked it up and paid the extra then. But yeah, well, I didn't bloody know, did I? You should have put the bloody postage on it, you great big turds. But no, it ended up costing me £36, and I was very, very annoyed. Mostly annoyed when they went, yeah, it's unfortunate that the postage came off, but the postage can't come off. It's a bloody sticker. Have you ever seen one of these? You can't get them off if you want to. It didn't drop off in the post. You forgot to put it on. Damn your eyes. Anyway, Just Cause 3. Right, let's open it up. I dread to think how much this was going for in the first place, because the game was like 40, 45 quid, I imagine. When they're knocking this stuff out for 20, but it does happen a lot with collector's editions. Right, there we are. There is the game. It was the winner of 10 E3 awards, and its mother was very proud of it. We've got here the art of Just Cause 3. Well, not much of the art. It's a very slight book. Here we are. Some character stuff and some bits. Oh, actually, it's got a fair few pages just on quite thin stock. Well, that's pictures and things in it. Hooray! And the official map of Just Cause 3. This could actually be quite useful. You could have it on your wall, or at least you could if it wasn't absolutely massive. It is, however, printed on a very thin plastic as opposed to paper, so it's going to be very hardy. Also, nice poster on the back of the game's art, if you should want that kind of thing by the looks of it. Marvellous. Right, let's get into the meat of it. Ooh. Yeah, I will get... Oh, God. I nearly broke it trying to get it out. That wasn't a good start. Here we go. Oh. And the base. And some... Oh, God. Some assembly required. This is going to be fun. Right. You stay there. Oh, it comes with instructions. That's usually a bad sign. Let's spin it round. That's a good start, isn't it? Right. So the little big one goes in there. Right. That I can handle. That one goes in there like that. Yeah, this is good. And that one goes like that. Okay, that was a pretty simple thing to put together, actually. Ooh, there's warnings. We do like a good warning. Warning, plastic bags can be dangerous. If you ever even so much as think about a plastic bag, your legs will catch fire. True. And the rare 0 to 14 sad onions. Also the rare one where it looks like the side of its face should actually continue below the red line, but it hasn't, meaning it exists in a different space to the 0 to 14. There's a thought for you. And here it is. Yeah, you could... Oh, it doesn't detach, so you can't wear it. That is disappointing for the old cosplayers, isn't it? Well, a good cosplayer will have a method of sorting that out, I'm sure. But you've got an actual metal cable here, a bit braided, to hold the mighty grapnel on the end. There's no movement on that. Yeah, there's no articulation on this at all. You've got a little screeny thing. You've got some detailing on the top. And you've got the spit that goes around your arm, and that's it, really. Fair enough. So apparently this will fit on... Oh yeah, there's actually specific holes for it in here. This looks like it's got pegs in there as well. I'm not going to bother fitting it on properly here. And then... Hang on, how does this work? Oh, I see, in that... Oh god, you have to bend all this up and around, and then that will sit on there like that. And then you will have a Just Cause 3 thing for your mantelpiece. If you're a big fan of Just Cause 3, that's quite a nice thing, I imagine. If you're not that interested, well, it's a thing. I mean, it's nice that they've weathered it so it looks like something decent, but it's quite plasticky up close, so it's not really something you would necessarily have out on your bestest of shelves, but it's equally not bad either. And it is nice that something isn't just, here is a statue of the person who is in the game. Right, last thing. And boom! Finally, we had to have at least one statue in order to set things off, and it is from Ubisoft's Heroes of Might and Magic. Ooh, I paid for this not much money. Again, I think I got it for 30 quid or something, but I did want the game because I am probably the only person in an English-speaking country who actually cares about Heroes of Might and Magic, but there we go. This particular game is Heroes of Might and Magic VII. You all probably played a version of this game at some point. It started with King's Bounty many, many years ago, then turned into Heroes of Might and Magic, and now it's called Might and Magic Heroes, which confuses me slightly. Yeah, they're all pretty good games. Many people say the series peaked at number 3, which is why they did a high-definition remake of 3 a couple of years ago. So, the box. This is what the game is like. What do we get inside? Ooh, a game. That's good. Ivan's figurine. Customised tarot game. I don't remember that being in there. I've opened this before. How have I forgotten that? Official soundtrack. Oh, an unofficial soundtrack where it's just somebody's grandmother beatboxing and saying the game's name repeatedly. And some exclusive in-game content of Hero Solmir and one scenario map. That doesn't sound exactly earth-shattering. Also an art book and 2 lithographs. Marvellous. Right. Let's get this out then. Ooh, the top comes off. Oh yes, I remember this now. Right. I've had this sitting on for bloody ages, actually. Here he is, the bloke. He's from the Griffins or something, innit? And he don't like the nature guys with the antlers, so he's standing on their helmets to prove how much he dislikes them. And that is the entire plot of the whole series of Might and Magic. Just remember the original Might and Magic series was different. It was like a dungeon crawler thing, wasn't it? I haven't thought of that for ages. Although they released one relatively recently, didn't they? Legacy. Quite like that. Anyway, these enough meanderings about old games. Let's look at a bit of plastic. You go over there temporarily. Oh, we're taking that thing, yeah. So as usual, it's a good one. There's lots of detail. The paint on it's really good. It's got an alternate head. I didn't really... Well, if it's got an alternate head, then we're going to have to look at it and jump cut to having released all these. And here it is. Look how beautifully the cape moves, but it has blood on it. You'll have to stick that down the laundrette. Yeah, it's really nice, like all these things are. Ubisoft always do really good statues, although they do tend to make the repeated error of having stubble, which is just kind of a dark area painted onto the face, so it just looks more like you've been rubbing dirt on their face. You get that a lot with these, unfortunately. But that is my only complaint, and I'll tell you what, since you can pull the head off and replace it with this one, or at least in theory, it doesn't want to go on. We've got it. Now, stubble is not a problem. Not with today's modern helmet technology. Cover your stubble. And also slightly reduce the chance of being killed by something hitting you in the face. Yeah, that's nice, isn't it? I want to see the other bits now. we have, oh, the cards, that's interesting, book, lithograph things, and a copy of the game. There's a surprise. I won't bother showing you the copy of the game. You can probably imagine what that's like. Original soundtrack. It's got all your favourites: Gathering of the Council, The Journeyman's Encounter, The Realm of the Dead, Gazing into the Abyss, and Piano Concerto for a Hero #1 in Ahab's Minor hip-hop dance remix. Marvellous. These will be the pretty lithographs. Oh, or just kind of two. Yeah, there's got to be another one here somewhere. Printed on fairly thin cardstock. They're just kind of those, really. I can't imagine why anybody would... I mean, they're pretty pictures, but I can't imagine that's the sort of thing anybody would really want framed and up on the wall. It's got a lax dynamism, you could say. But anyway, pleasant enough. The art of Might Magic Heroes VII. Ooh. They're very dark. Oh, that's quite nice. This is much better than that other bloody art book. Look, there's much more in it. And also the paper's a lot better. It's glossier and the colours much stronger as a result. Do you know what I would have liked, actually? Rather than a statue of one of the sort of anonymous heroes from each game, a statue of one of the classic monsters. Because there's monsters that always come back in these games. And it'd be nice to have a statue of one of those, like, you know, the harpy or the centaur or just one of the genies. Oh, in fact, I believe we've literally just come up with a genie, which is quite handy. And all that kind of stuff. I don't know, just something that you'd recognise from more than one game. But it didn't happen. They went with the main man of the series, which I suppose is understandable. And finally, I'm quite intrigued with these. I do not remember these existing. How do you... Oh, I wonder if it's because I didn't open them, because it feels like I'm going to damage them to open them. Oh dear, I'm going to have to... oh God. Do you need a special card opening device? Oh man, this is going to get damaged, isn't it? This is frustrating. Right, I'm going to attack this with some tools. Jump cut. Right, I managed to get in via the bottom. And we have... Ooh, special rules for playing the French Tarot. Interesting. I thought tarot was supposed to be a system of divining the future and not a game as such. They're very tall and thin, as old cards were. Oh, there's a lot of nice art on them. You've got spooky dead man, what with a mask or something. Possibly one of the heroes. There were dungeon monsters like that. I forget what they were called, the Faceless or something. They get a bit less interesting as you go on, as they're just standard playing cards after a period, with only the actual, you know, suits being a thing. So you've got kind of, these are kind of the major arcana, I suppose, and then the rest of it is just like normal playing cards. Is that what French Tarot is? I don't know. I find it intriguing and yet confusing at the same time. Look at this woman. Her eyes have gone green. That's what happens if you ignore the open other end instruction on a packet of Jaffa cakes. So, that's that then. Yeah. So we shall say the usual thing we say after the collector's edition videos, which is these things tend to be very expensive, so make sure you really, really want one before you buy one, and frankly, you're better off holding off a bit, because an awful lot of them turn up for a fraction of the price that they originally sold for a month or two down the line if you keep your eyes out. This is actually the first video I've done with these in where I haven't borrowed somebody else's somewhere along the line, I think. These are all ones I've bought myself, except the Nosulus Rift, because they're not for sale. Ah, well, I'm off to tinker with a fart device. Subscribe for more.